Hey guys, how you doing? Back with part 2 of that F-14 video. Part 1 we saw the MiG-29. Today we're going to have the F-18 Hornet. And part 3 coming in a few days is going to be the F-15 against the F-14. Just like last time, I have Razor flying the F-18 Hornet. He flew the MiG-29 last time, and he's back again today. So let's go ahead and get started and see what happens. Alright, here we go. You can see I already got him on RWR there, 12 o'clock. So yeah, this should be much easier for Razor compared to the MiG-29. Considering he's flying the F-18, he's going to have a much better RWR. In an attempt to notch these missiles, it should be much easier for him, theoretically. We're going to find out if that's true. And then once I get him on the radar here, I'm just gonna switch to TWS mode, and I'm gonna immediately launch on him. There he is, again on RWR. There he is on my radar. I got him. Switch to TWS and lock him up. There we go, Fox 3. Alright, so you can see that missile's tracking something. I've lost him on radar now, but the missile is using its own radar head to try to find him. So it seems that he's going to be able to defeat that missile, and he's currently holding his notch, which is why I'm having difficulty picking him up on radar here. And we were about 50 miles out, so at this point I'm gonna get closer and closer, and you know, this is a fight to the death, but I'm probably in real life, or like even if this was a legitimate online session, I would probably turn around and get out of here instead of just closing my distance on him constantly. I've got him on RWR here. I'm going to try to pick him up again. He's in that notch. I think he went to the left here. Alright, I've lost him again. Dropped off RWR, so he's cold on me. Probably re-entered a notch at this point, which is what's making it difficult for me to find him. We're just gonna wait, keep waiting on the radar screen here, wait for him to maybe mess up his 90 degrees by even a few degrees, and I'll be able to pick him up on radar and launch again. I don't love the idea of getting this close to him, but it does increase the probability of kill for the Phoenix, so it's kind of a trade-off. Just gotta be careful in case he engages me with the AMRAM. I gotta have enough room to break defensive quickly. I think he notched to the left here, so we're just gonna bank. See if we can pick him up. Alright, he's turned back into me here. I'm just going to single target track him at this point. Okay, that's Fox 3 again. You can see he's re-entering that notch, and I've lost him. So that missile's on its own here, and it doesn't really look like it's tracking anything, so he's probably pretty low altitude at this point, so I'm scanning really low. Alright, there he is again on radar here. He slightly exited his notch here. And I've got Fox 3 again. I lost lock immediately after firing that. Alright, it looks like that missile's tracking something. And when it turns away like that, you know he beat it. He notched it, so. Alright, I've given him 2 Phoenix missiles at this point. He's fired an AMRAAM on me, so I'm going to break defensive. Alright, I'm pretty sure I splashed him at this point, but his AMRAAM is still coming. I'm like 99% sure I've beat it, but I just want to be absolutely certain, so I'm just going to continue going defensive here. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright guys, here we go. Here's our TAC view here. Me in the blue F-14, Razor off in the distance, red F-18. And so here we are at about 57 nautical miles. I'm going to engage him. There's that first Fox 3 launch. The main reason I do this is because, one, this missile has ridiculous range in its current modeling in DCS. So 57 nautical miles against an inexperienced pilot might actually kill him. Razor is obviously much more experienced, so the only reason I fired this is because 30 seconds into the flight time of this missile, the smoke is going to go away, and he won't be able to visually make contact on the missile to dodge it if it does come close to hitting him. That's the only reason why I launched it at 57 nautical miles. You saw Razor drop some stuff here. He was just unloading some of the weight that he didn't need. I think he jettisoned some missiles or something there. So yeah, this missile, I didn't think that it would hit, but I didn't think he'd be able to get rid of it that quickly. You can see that as he has established his 90-degree beam, that missile has immediately lost him. And as he turns back in at this point, notice how he waits long enough that he knows the seeker head of the missile isn't going to be able to see him before he turns back in. And this is probably just done through experience. I don't know what the degrees is on the missile in terms of how far in front of itself it can see. But with the last video, not the last one, but a couple of videos before, we saw that the degrees was something close to like 45 degrees that it could see, because it picked up Zoho within 45 degrees in front of it. So it's got a pretty ridiculous seeker head, but obviously it wasn't enough at this point for Razor to pick up Razor again. So he's going to push forward, and the F-18 is once again, he's going to enter the notch with the F-18. I'm going to have some serious troubles picking him up because of the fact that he's entered a notch. I do, however, eventually manage to get him back on radar, and he turns back in and once again enters his notch. I fire the missile. I immediately lose him again. And watch this missile. So you can see it's not tracking to him, it's tracking to the chaff here because he's notched it. But then watch his flight path. Notice how his flight path wasn't totally straight, like just a few degrees off, you know. And watch this missile as it turns into him. Just a few degrees is what's gonna cost him here. And the missile's gonna come in. You look at that reacquisition, it's gonna turn in, picking the right target. He's forced to correct his notch or his beam, and you can see that missile then at the last second tracks for the chaff. So you do need to constantly correct your notch if you're gonna play like that. So here we go again. What distance was this? 13 nautical miles. And the reason that he doesn't constantly turn back into me every time he defeats a missile is because it's going to be easier to just correct a notch than it is to have to like redo it all over again, right? So, and he knows that these missiles are going to come in quick succession, just volley after volley of Aim-54, so there's no point in ruining your notch. So once again, you can see that missile is tracking perfectly until he corrects that notch. He corrects it and it goes for the chaff again. Now at this point, if this was a real like online engagement, I would have never come within 9.7 nautical miles. If I had launched like 3 Phoenix missiles at this guy and he had constantly defeated them, I would have been like, there's some weird shit going on. This guy's like weirdly good. I would have just turned around and got out of here, right? So that's one of the advantages of the F-14, is that I have this standoff capability where I can decide what fights I want to fight. But for the nature of this video, it was a death to the fight. It was a fight to the death. So I got in a little bit closer, and like it had to be done. You know, if I wasn't going to be able to kill him with these Phoenix missiles, I was going to have to Fox 2 him. So anyway, I get in with about 7 nautical miles, 9 to 7 nautical miles, and I'm going to hit him with 2 missiles. And what happens is he turns back in order to fire this AIM-120 off, which forces him to then immediately try to re-enter into the notch, which he won't be able to do because it's just not enough distance and the missiles are just too fast, right? So he's got a Mach 3.2 missile coming at him. The only thing he can really do is try to maneuver defeat the missile, right? Like maneuver kill it. So what he does is he climbs a high G climb and just misses that one. And the missile is obviously going like extremely fast, so I think that's one of the reasons why it won't turn to hit him. Like the flight path from here to here is like a fraction of a second, right? And this missile is just way too big, way too fast to be able to pull up and hit that F-18 right here. But then, and notice that because he's too busy dodging this one, he's not going to have time to notch a second missile that's coming in quick succession right behind it, right? But he knows it's coming. He can visually see that smoke too. So what he's going to do is once again try to, notice how he turns into the missile. He's trying to force it to he's trying to outmaneuver the missile and trash it in that manner. So let's just fast forward a little bit here. Watch this. And he manages to defeat the missile, kind of, right? Like, in terms of the missile, it's not going to directly hit him. Look at that. It actually is missing him by a couple of meters here. But it explodes. If you remember the footage from the actual video, it explodes a couple of meters away from him. But the Phoenix missiles, it was a proximity fuse, right? It proximity fuse detonated, and the blast radius of the warhead of the Aim-54 Phoenix is actually what kills him. So he defeats the missile, but he doesn't manage to defeat the proximity fuse. So that's what kills him here, and it's a good thing too, because that was starting to get frustrating. His AMRAAM here is basically defeated. That's not gonna cause any problems for anyone, but I wasn't sure, so I did try to defeat it. I tried to make absolutely certain that I had beat it. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video for today. The F-18 lost as well, so that's a MiG-29 and an F-18 in this video, F-15 in the next video. So place your bets below. Let me hear what you think is going to win the next fight. Will the F-15 be able to take out the F-14, or what? Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.